in bed thing.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm getting like 75 down. I don't know what my up is, though.
Yeah. That's the question, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Looks like it's about, no, maybe.
Maybe.
It's looking about yeah, about 6.5 to 7 megs per second upload.
It's a little low for
Yeah.
video. Yeah. Live with episode 299, the pen ultimate episode of Triple T is here. Only this and one more to go. So please join us for the live broadcast. Twitch.Tauren Think Tank. Okay. All right. Don't go to sleep.
And retweet.
Don't go to sleep. Like my computer is like, my Mac was like, I'm gonna go. No, you're not going to sleep right now. No, you're not.
No sleep
No,
for
you
you.
are not.
No sleep till Brooklyn.
No sleep too. Brooklyn. Hi, Panda.
Hello.
Hello. So you're going to see some stuttering with Mark Honan's video. His audio is fine. We did a little diagnosis. It just seems like his downloads or upload speed's a little low.
Yeah,
So,
just a little wonky today.
yeah. But if audio's good, then we will roll with it. And so far it's been fine. So, as we've been talking for the last like 7 minutes. So, it's fine. No you. We tweeted. Now we've tweeted. The cat's in his bed, nice and comfy. Hi, camera. Refocus, please. Thank you. The furry menace officially destroyed my good webcam. Officially. As of yesterday, it would not turn on. It would not plug in. It plugged in. It would not turn on. It would not do anything. So Amazon Prime gave me a new webcam today. Hi, new webcam. That I had to purchase because good webcam is pretty needed for streaming and podcasting. So Furry Menace is now no longer going to be permitted near any of those cords because every single time I am done recording something, the webcams are taken down, wrapped up, and put away. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that, but I've got to do it. You know, it's like, you got to do it. He's going to chew the cord I should actually take photos of what he has done to those cords because it is absolutely, that one specific cord is just destroyed. So he is very lucky that he's cute. He is very lucky that he is sweet. He's not so lucky that he is, got this chewing problem. Yeah. Dang you, Furry Menace.
It's a good thing he's so cute.
Yeah, that's exactly how I keep putting it. It's like, he is just lucky he is cute because otherwise we would have a big problem.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put this on this here. Cool. All right, cool. I'm going to put this on this tab here. I'm going to fold this out here. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, cool. Now I got everything I need. Hi, chat room. Are you not hearing us?
I don't know. I can hear Jules fine.
Are you not hearing us? I thought you were hearing me.
Hello.
Because I saw the Furry Menace picture.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can hear us?
10 out of 10.
It's not the video.
Yeah.
It's not the video.
Make sure Henry hasn't chewed through any cords.
Yeah, no kidding. 6.5 out of 10. Perfect 5 of 7.
Yeah.
Yes. No, we're here. Why? Oh, goodness, video. All right, we're not going to let you do this. Hold on a second. We're going to fix that.
Yeah, I really don't like this video going back and forth and being so choppy.
I know. It's not great.
If I'd known this was an issue, I would have reset the router earlier today.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It kind of sucks.
Yep.
Hi, Tellenroyd. Good to see you.
Hello, hello.
All right, so my video seems to be a little bit better. Seems to be a little bit
yours looks
more
good
stable.
to me.
Okay. I was getting some flicker going on there, so I'm checking it out here. The penultimate think tank. That's right. Episode 299, which means next week is the thing. Is the last one. It's the last one. It's the last one. It's kind of crazy. All right. So, I have my soundboard is up. Let's just do a little quick thing. Make sure you hear stuff. I like this one today. There you go. A CBS special. If you don't tune in next week, in my mind, it'll never finish. Yeah. You just never download it and you'll be like, nope, I'm not. I'm not allowing it to end.
Yep.
I'm not allowing it to be over.
Pretend we're still trucking away.
I know. Yes, I will remind them. Just give me another reminder, Draven, or somebody. Give me a reminder. When we're doing the closing music out, everything like that, I will make a mention of it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good night. I'm not here to do work. I'm not reminding anything. That's kind of how I saw Jayonce right there. It was like,
Kind of cross his arms.
I love you, Jayonce. Oh, goodness. All right. Well, the chat room is starting to file in. Looks like we've got people here. Shijawshram. Cool. Your video is holding a little bit here. We're getting a little bit. Some of it's doing okay. I mean, it's not great, but we can hear you.
Hold it.
Yeah. Hold it there. Hold it.
Steady.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to do this ready check thing that you guys love so much. Are you guys ready for a show? Are you ready for episode 299? The next to the last one. I have a technical difficulties one for Marconin if we have to.
Yeah.
It is, I think it's this one. Hold on.
You just got to play the intermission music from Holy Grail while you do it.
Right? I know. Maybe that's not it. Let me get it removed and re-added. Add source. Media file.
Easy as pie, Draven.
Dropbox. Triple T podcast files. Where's the Marconin image?
Yeah, I see a little bit of flicker, Panda. There's
yeah,
some
you might
flicker on the.
On mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Hang on a second. I'll fix that. Hold on. I'm trying to find Marconin's picture that I've used before. I'll fix it. Hold on. Why can't I find that picture? I thought I had it.
Let's see.
Well, I've got this, which can go there if it has to. I'll just do that. If you have to go away, Hold on a second. I'll fix that.
I don't want to go away.
That should be better. No more flicker. Configure. Flicker gone. I fixed. New webcam.
Fixed.
It's a new webcam, so it's got a little stuff going on there. We got it. We got it taken care of. We go webcam. We did. Well, in case Marcona's video goes way whack out, then we'll just be like, "Hi, video dead."
Yep. Sorry.
Sorry.
Let's see here.
Right? You're totally getting a twofer on this one. How to fix your webcam, how to fix your coworkers' audio or video issues, which we haven't fixed. We're just gonna have to deal with it. And and no autofocus. Okay, that's no autofocus. We don't want that. Okay. All right, I'm good. Are you good?
Yep, I'm good.
All right. Alrighty, right. Chat room, you've readied up, kind of, with all of the. You just had like 3.14. Okay, there's a lot of numbers on that. I'm not gonna read all those numbers. All right. Let's do this thing. Episode 299 of Tauren Think Tank is beginning in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 299 of Tauren Think Tank. The penultimate episode is here. It's, is it 8:14 p.m. on January 10th of 2019. My name is Jules. I seem to have forgotten how to run this podcast. I don't know why. I've done it 299 times. But with me, as always, is the man that's going to try to keep me in line and help me remember how this whole thing is supposed to go. It's Mark Honan.
Huh? Oh, me?
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. So this is Tauren Think Tank. I'm very happy to be here. This is so strange. We only get to do this one more time after today.
One more.
Only one more intro. One more. Everything that we do today is like the next to last time that we're gonna do it for the show, and that is crazy to me.
Yes.
It still has not completely sunken in yet. Little sad, not gonna lie, but it's probably gonna hit me hard next Thursday, I tell you.
Oh gosh, yeah. Like I had a moment after we were doing the outro for 298, and when I hit the last part of the outro and did the /moo everybody, it hit me like a truck. And I was like, oh my gosh, I only have a couple more times that's going to happen. And so you guys didn't hear it if you listened to the podcast version, but on the YouTube version, like I just was like trying my hardest to hold it together because I was about to lose myself. It was just, the gravity of it just hit, and it doesn't change the decision. I mean, the decision is the right decision. It doesn't make it any easier to do it. And so, yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of tears next week. They might even be some tonight. Like, I'm already getting choked up thinking about it. Like, next week's going to be really hard.
It is.
But we're going to get through it, and we're going to do it. So, for the second to last time, what has happened with you in the last 7 days?
Oh, goodness. Just basically kind of your run-of-the-mill normal stuff. Go to work, doing not a whole lot of work, and an ample amount of work. not getting overworked, thankfully.
Yeah.
But it's been going pretty well. Yeah, work's going well. I've been we finally got to raid again on Monday night
Oh,
because
nice.
I had 2 weeks of not raiding because of New Year's and Christmas, or New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve. So nobody really wanted to raid those Monday nights, which is fine.
Yeah.
But we jumped back in the saddle and did a few bosses on heroic, and then switched back to normal and cleaned up. Still getting some upgrades every once in a while. I think I got one upgrade, so that was good off of a heroic boss. So yeah, doing pretty good. And oh yeah, that also reminds me. I don't think I'm. Our buddy Battle Panda in the chat reminded me. His guild on last Friday night, I believe it was, took me along for a mythic Antorus Burning Throne.
Oh, wow.
And I got to get my Titan Slayer title back from Legion. And I had to stay up pretty late because those Aussies keep some weird hours compared to us.
Yes.
So I was raiding till after 1 a.m, and I had to go to work the next day.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah, I was pretty tired when I got to work on Saturday, but we powered through and was able to get the mythic Argus kill. I tell you what, that mythic what's his name, Agrimar, is no joke. He's the hardest boss in that entire raid. The penultimate boss is the toughest one. Like, we wiped on that guy for half hour, 45 minutes, and finally got him down, one-shotted mythic Argus. And I was like, wow. Thank goodness. Oh, now I can go to bed. Like, so this is gonna happen, but it was a lot of fun.
Okay, so your audio is getting a little choppy, so let's have you kill your video. Let's see if that helps a little bit.
Okay, can do.
Audio got a little weird.
Sorry.
That's okay. We're gonna put your magic little Triple T portrait up here. So you're just gonna be in that spot for now.
For those of you listening at home, there's a giant Triple T logo over my face.
Yes, or where it should be.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to fix the video for next week because you're gonna want to see me cry like a baby on stream. Like,
yes,
except no substitutions, and won't be getting any refunds for that either. But
that's right.
Like I was saying, killed Mythic Argus, got the Titan Slayer achievement and title, so that was awesome. And yeah, just kind of doing the thing. Work's going well. Trying to think what else I've got going on. I can't remember off the top of my head. Huh. It's weird, isn't it? Like the whole last week, I'm just like, what happened to me? I don't know. What's going on?
What's happening? Like I know the feeling.
I sold a TV off of Facebook Marketplace, one that I've been wanting to sell for a while, and that was cool.
Nice.
So make a little cash for the cruise in the summer. So that definitely helps. Been looking at downsizing some of my collection of stuff behind me. Not very big stuff, but some of the stuff that I'm not too terribly attached to. So yeah, I've been doing that a little bit, thinking a little more thrifty, just trying to see what I can do on that front, just to make sure that we can go on a really nice cruise and not have to worry about, debt for it or anything like that.
Yeah.
And that's something we've been planning for nearly a year, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to this coming weekend. I get to help my wife do an Instagram photo shoot.
Oh, nice.
In Little Rock. We're going to go downtown on Sunday and take some pictures. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. Oh, and we're going to my wife does CrossFit too. She's infinitely more interesting than I am, I tell you what. But she does CrossFit, and they're having a little once a year they kind of go all out and have this really nice like black tie dinner at a nice catered place. And so we're going to do that on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, already got her dress picked out. It looks fantastic. I'm going to have to figure something out for shirt and tie. But
no kidding.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, just like the real life stuff. And also I've got a couple ideas for things to do after next week. Of course, I've got a couple of Lego sets that are all spacey themed that I would like to build.
Yep.
And I could build that on stream. I also have a couple of custom Funkos I want to make. So that would be kind of cool to just let you guys see what a very mediocre customizer person does. So stay tuned for that at Marconin Wow on Twitter or Marconin on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Shameless self-promotion. So yeah, that's about it really. Not a whole lot, just a bunch of little things. Been playing a lot of Let's Go Pikachu. Really liking it a lot.
Cool.
A lot of fun. But yeah, what about you? I know you've had some stuff going on as well.
Yeah, so it's been another busy week of just job hunting, and job hunting, and I had a really good interview on Tuesday, and I'm hopeful that this is gonna be okay. This is something that they'll offer to me. It's a local place, just about 10 minutes away from my house.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a nice, a little easier drive. Nice small office, seems like a nice kind of family oriented type of business rather than super corporate. The only downside is that they have to they were interviewing this week, and then they're heading out to a national conference next week, all next week. So they warned me that it could be up to 2 weeks before I heard, which was like, oh gosh. So
yikes.
Yeah, and so I was just like, I've been trying my best to try to keep my anxiety in check, which stinks because I got a call from the placement agency today. They were like, yeah, we've got this temporary job, but you need to be able to commit through the spring. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Like I was honest with them. I'm like, I'm guessing I'm in the final stages of this. And I had to turn it down, which really kind of stunk. But, I have another phone interview tomorrow with a different company, so we'll see what happens. I'm just trying to keep my anxiety down, which is not an easy thing to do because I don't really do well. Number one, I'm not a patient person. I don't like waiting. I don't like waiting for other people to get things done. That's really that is not a personality trait that I possess very well. So it's a big struggle for me. And number two, I don't really do well feeling like not having a job. I feel really kind of crappy about myself, and I know that it is what it is. It's the situation. I can't change it. It is what it is. But it's this awful feeling that's like, it's an identity thing, and it's bothering me, and I'm trying my best to not let it bother me. I'm not doing so great at it, but
well, it is tough. It's very tough because I mean, it's easy for us to equate our self-worth with, what we do for a living and that we are doing something for a living. And that's totally understandable. And it does suck.
Yeah. It's just hard. And so I'm hopeful this is short-lived and about to be over, and I will have a lot less stress about things. I'm kind of looking at this as a situation where I'm just, I'm doing what I have to do to make sure that I can give myself some financial stability, which is part of my resolutions for 2019. So, you got to do what you got to do. But along with that came some tough decisions. I had to make the very tough decision that I was not going to be able to go to Canada to visit Jocelyn and be there for her wedding. Which is next month. And what a terrible feeling that was. She's been amazing and always understood. Like, she knew that this past year was really tough. And, for me to lose 2 jobs in 1 year and having this financial worry and just not being able to afford to travel to another country. It's just, she's been amazing. But so Jayance and I, we were both invited and we both cannot attend. And so what we did to, for our present to her was Jay did this, and it was incredible. He found a site where you can actually hire one of the queens from RuPaul's Drag Race, which is one of my favorite shows and one of Jocelyn's favorite shows, to record a message to give to them, a personal message. And so Jay coordinated this. And if you guys are familiar with RuPaul's Drag Race at all, Shangela is one of Jocelyn's favorite queens as well as mine. And she got Shangela to record this wonderful message to Jocelyn, which is like, we gave it to her last night and watched her on video as she saw it, and she burst into tears, into hysterical tears of joy, because it was such a nice moment, you know, even though we couldn't be there. We were so happy to be able to do that for her. I'm going to be a freaking mess in the middle of February because I won't be there to see her. But these are the things. You got to be an adult, right? You got to be a grown up. You got to make these tough calls. And it is what it is. So, yeah, so I am, you know, it hasn't been the easiest, but I've had some really wonderful bright points. Doing my stream this week, and I think it was it Monday? It must have been Monday. I was streaming, making a commission on stream, and I, you know, kind of ran out of, like, I'd done what I needed to do, and I'd done a couple extra stuff, and I was like, don't really have a lot else to do, so we could just chat. And then chat says to me, you could read us a bedtime story. And I'm like, oh, if you want to give me something to read to you. And then someone else suggested, let's do Mad Libs. And I'm like, can you even do Mad Libs? Like, can you do this on the internet? And of course, it shows up in my chat that, oh, yes, you can. So, so we did this Mad Libs thing on stream. I turned on some spa music, some really, like, quiet, like, meditation music.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I read the story, got in real close to the microphone and lowered my voice, and I read this ridiculous story, and it was the funniest. We were laughing so hard. If you haven't seen this, you can go out to my Twitter at Jules RPG. I took a highlight of the video. It is so funny. So funny. It was one of the kind of like magical things that happen while you're streaming. So yeah, so like just silly bright moments. Very, very fun. Yeah. So if you're out there now listening to this, if you can just say a little prayer to the universe that I will be gainfully employed very soon, I would appreciate it. That would be wonderful. I would be very happy. Thank you.
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for your consideration. So, I have been asked by the chat room, by the fans, and I'll say this again at the end of the show, that in the Discord for Tauren Think Tank, there is a channel called Triple T Fans. It is a channel that Marconan and I do not see. I mean, we know it's there. We're just not looking at it. But apparently there's some kind of plan going down there for next week's episode. I, again, do not know what it is, so I cannot tell you what it is. You'll have to join the Discord and find out if you would like to participate. Draven, was it Monday was the deadline?
Yeah,
Monday?
I think he said Monday.
Okay, so it's this coming Monday is the deadline. If you want to get in on whatever they're cooking, please do. tinyurl.com/tttchat2 is the Discord link. And so, yeah, just you can go do that. Okay. Yes, he said yes. So it's Monday is the deadline to get it in there, whatever they're planning. So there you go.
We have no idea.
We don't. We don't. We've not looked at this channel. I will look at it after the 300th episode is recorded, but I will not, I made that promise. I will not look at it, and I won't, and I haven't. But to kind of prepare you guys for the 300th episode, which will be next week, we've talked about it. We're clear that it's going to happen for all schedules involved. So it will be next Thursday, and I'll be promoting all of that. Our topic is going to be saying goodbye to the things that you enjoy or that have been important in your life. May that be, a TV show or a video game, community, anything that you've had that's been a big part of your life. And this was brought up by multiple people in relation to the show, so we'll just tie it all together. And I will just put it out there. If you want to add your thoughts to that for us to add it into the show notes for the next week, you can do that. So, yeah. So there you go. That's what's happening for next week for 300. for the final episode. So we will do all that here on stream. It'll be just awesome. Okay. But this episode, we're actually going to do a discussion topic. And it's kind of an appropriate one, I think, for the second to last episode. So, are you ready for this discussion?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, let's do this one. Yeah, this one.
Let's kick around some... ideas, not gnomes.
I know.
He's going to be so happy after next week.
I know, we already heard from him. I haven't still paid his bill yet.
Yep. Not planned on it either.
Oh, come on.
Poor gnome. Okay, so we got a letter from Dale R, who said that maybe we could talk about starting a podcast or how to get into it. It seems easy to just hit record and go with it, but really, how and where do you get started? What do you do when posting every week and you don't see numbers grow? I imagine that could be very disheartening. And so basically, like, I think this is the best way for us is, you guys, a lot of you have heard our story. We can tell it again and tell our thoughts on how, if we were to do it again, what we would do differently. So, so yeah. So let's think about, I don't think I've ever asked you this question. When did you first learn about podcasts? When did you first become aware that they were a thing?
Well, I was vaguely familiar with the idea of them back in college, back in like the ancient days of like 2005 and 2004. And I heard podcasts that they seemed to me to be like an Apple only thing. And other than when I was in college for broadcasting, I worked with Apple products. Of course, that's what they all used.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really do podcasts because that seemed to be an iPod thing only. So I didn't really mess with them. But then I was trying to finish my broadcast degree, and they offered a summer course called podcasting. And I thought, well, that's a cool idea. That's kind of a neat. It's like radio on the internet. I like radio because at the time I was working at the radio station on campus, and I thought, well, that would be kind of cool because the internet. So I took the class, and the first assignment, the first day, was to go on iTunes and find 5 podcasts that interest you.
Okay.
5 things to listen to. And of course, the first one that I found was The Instance.
Mm-hmm.
First one. So that's kind of where it started. I found that one. I found one that did movie reviews and found another one that did like underground music and stuff like that. That's really how my awareness of what podcasts were started.
Mm-hmm.
And for the next couple of years, I was just a consistent listener of The Instance back when Randy was on there. And then Randy left. And then I was slowly becoming aware of other podcasts and found out about Convert to Raid, started listening to those guys, those knuckleheads. And then I was listening to the post instance bits. And the one that intrigued me the most was Aludra, her little pet thing that she would do at the end of the podcast, talking about how to get a pet. And I was like, oh, that's really awesome. I was already a mount collector at that point, just in the background. And so I thought, no one's talking about mounts on the Instance. Maybe I should try. And so after a lot of hype and getting built up and complimented from the missus, I finally laid down my first episode of Mount Up and sent it to Scott, and he was gracious enough to air it. And he aired like a couple dozen that I put out. And that's kind of what got me started in podcasting. And then, of course, I made the hop, skip, and a jump over here after editing some episodes. So yeah, that's kind of how I came into it.
Yeah. My first foray into podcasts was also related to World of Warcraft. And it was a show called Tavern Cast was the very first one that I started listening to. They were more of a hardcore raider group, and they were raiding like Molten Core and that kind of thing. So I had no idea what was even being discussed. Second one was The Instance. And so I was listening when it was Scott and Randy for a long time. I remember Randy's last episode. I remember flying around I was in Lich King, flying around Ice Crown Citadel when I was listening to their final episode, because Randy got the job at Blizzard. And yeah, it was pretty wild. It was like one of those things where I had been listening to podcasts and I remember Tavern Cast and The Instance were big ones, and then my ex-husband was listening to Convert to Raid, and in the beginning, it's too funny. When I first listened to Convert to Raid, I thought they were just way too immature because there were a lot of fart jokes and poop jokes and stuff, and I was just like, oh, these guys are obnoxious, and so I didn't listen to them for a while, and then it started to get a little bit easier for me to listen. Mainly just because it was on in the house. I wasn't listening to it, but my ex was. And so that's how I kind of started to do that. And so Tauren Think Tank began as an idea based off of just having... So the guild that we were in at the time we had just gone through a big, big change. Raiding and changing things around, and we'd all just like split off into our own guild. And the idea was that we were going to do this show based on trying to help guild leaders and raid leaders talk about the things that are difficult in leading groups. And so I remember going out onto the WoW forums, advertising the show and asking people for stuff for the first episode. Talking about what we were planning to do. At some points, I would go out to the forums just to get topics to talk about, because I saw some people talking about things on the forums, because really Twitter wasn't a big thing then. It really wasn't huge. I joined Twitter like a couple months after we started doing the show. And the very first episode we recorded on Skype with me sitting with a laptop and a headset microphone, and it just doing the thing, and it sounded like crap. but it felt like it had something. It had some bone to good things. Like we had a good rapport. It was a good layup of what we were trying to do. Bim said we advertised on WoW Insider. We did, which is how she found out about us. And and so then it was just a matter of just like networking like crazy. I remember like Rem he was so obsessed with Coltrane, and we got he was on episode 5 of the show. So it was like 5 episodes and we get a guest on and it's Coltrane. And so, that was a thing that kind of just catapulted a whole bunch of other things and other contacts and other people that we wound up doing. So that, that's like the TLDR history of how Triple T started. But none of us had ever done a show. None of us had ever made a podcast. None of us had a clue onto like, how do you record it? How do you hear each other? How do you merge the two together in an audio program? It was just this crazy, like, we had to learn everything. We had to learn hosting. We had to learn advertising and marketing. We had to, all of that kind of thing. And the way the show grew was through word of mouth. And because of people talking about it with their friends and then telling other people about it, that was 100% how this show grew. It was 100%, because I didn't do any paid advertising. I just did a lot of networking with people. And then it just kind of grew with word of mouth. I would listen to other people's shows and I would get in contact with them, and I got invited onto some other podcasts and they heard about me from there. And so, yeah, it was all networking. So
yeah, I think that's one of the biggest keys biggest tips that we can give you.
Yeah.
Is to network. That's the key for anything. Like, trying to get ahead where you work. It's about networking, get to know your boss's boss and your boss's boss's boss.
Yep.
Get to know other people in other departments. It's the same thing.
Yes.
Get to know other podcasters, ask them, don't start talking to them with the intention of self-promotion, but at least try to be nice and be like, hey, I listened to a few episodes of your show. I really like what you're doing. I'm kind of new to this, but I think you're pretty awesome. You've given me a lot of cool things to work with. And, if you wouldn't mind giving me your opinion or any kind of tips, you can kind of just, kind of get some ideas from the producers. And,
Yeah.
if they like you and if they like the idea, like, oh yeah, and you can try and cross promote, that's a great way to do it, and to just network with people and try to find your place. And don't give up. That's another one. Don't give up, because the first several shows, when you look back on it later, are going to be just like, oh, how do I even know what side of the microphone to talk into? This sounds awful.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's the same for me. Like the first episodes of the other podcast that I did like 3 episodes of Azeroth After Hours, because myself and my 2 friends, we were all third shifters back then. And we were doing like third shift themed, what happened while everybody was awake and we were asleep, and I go back and listen to a little bit of that, and it's like, oh man, I should have really worked harder at that. And, but of course I know a lot better now how to present yourself and things, especially, I mean, even, and I haven't listened to an episode. It was like 114 or something like that. I don't even know what it was, but
yeah,
I was very, 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 very nervous, and I'm not now. So
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. On those first couple of episodes, I was terrified to sit in front of the microphone and talk, because I just didn't know what I was going to say, and I didn't know how I was going to present it. I mean, I guarantee you, if you're thinking about starting a podcast, you are going to learn so much by just doing. It just happened. It happened for the 2 of us. It happens for everybody. You go back and you listen to yourself. Like, I go back and I listen to the earlier stuff, and I'm like, wow, that's really rough. I was a little rough. But going back to the networking thing just a little bit, the way that you can organically grow is to invite people to come onto your show. Make a decent product and invite people who know stuff about that topic to come on your show. It's the number one way to network with people, because then you get to know their audience. Hopefully you get to make contacts with them, and hopefully they talk you up with other people. Because that's literally how, when we had Coltrane on the show, I was heading to Nerdtacular just after that, my very first Nerdtacular. Coltrane told Pat Crane that I was going to be there, that I should meet him. That's when I met Pat. That's when I became part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. That's how I met all of the other podcasters that became a part of it. And that's how my circle grew. And it turned into all of these other things. So it is most definitely the best way for you to network without being, because I'll see this in Twitch. I see this in Twitch chat all the time, where people will come in and they'll talk about their Twitch stream, and you just don't do that. You don't go into someone else's home and talk about your thing, that the same thing that they're doing. Now, you get to know that person. You get to get comfortable with them. Now, if I go into somebody else's Twitch stream and they're like, "How was your show?" and I'm like, "Great, thanks for asking. How's your stream going?" Because I'm here to talk to you. But it's about making sure that you are not shamelessly self-promoting yourself, because it can get there's a real fine line between making those contacts and making yourself out to be the thing instead of the person that you're trying to impress.
Yep. And that's what, something akin to that is what got me first involved with Triple T, is because our last co-host put out on Twitter that they needed help with audio editing. And I said, hey, I do audio editing. And I put myself out there. I was like, hey, I already listened to your show. I think you guys are great. I went to school for this. I do editing for stuff. If you need some help, just let me know.
Yeah.
Shot in the dark. Could have said, get away, kid. You bother me. But no, I got a reply back and was given a task to do for free. And I was like, hey, this sounds fun. I can do this. And had Coltrane's voice on it and everything. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. And so, I get to work with audio from two of my favorite podcast shows. So it was great. And that's what started it. I mean, you start small, you start with just enjoying and doing the thing that you like to do. I mean, no one's going to be instantly successful. No one's going to start start right away doing very very well, but you can just kind of work your way into the community, into the scene, just by being genuine and being helpful and being nice,
Yeah.
being willing to help others. I think that is a big thing, along with the networking. Just like you said, Jules, you're not, storming into somebody's Twitch stream to be like, hey guys, come watch my show. Like, no, just enjoy being in the community and just kind of put yourself in there naturally. You've got to have the guts to do it. You're not going to go anywhere unless you do something to move. And so you've got to take those first few chances and those first few leaps. And if it doesn't land, well, keep on trying.
Yeah. I'm not going to name any names, but way back in the beginning, when we first started streaming on Twitch, and we didn't even have cams, it was just the audio. We just did the audio for Triple T, but it was on Twitch. There was another podcaster team that was doing World of Warcraft stuff, and they would actually come into our chat room and try to coerce our fans to come to hang out in a voice chat server, in the realm of saying, hey, we're all Triple T fans, let's hang out together. And they were really trying to pitch them ideas for their podcast. That's way back. And that was one of the few instances where I came in and was like, because a couple fans told me what was happening, and I was just like, oh, hell no, you're not doing this. Yeah. I'm gonna drop the hammer on that one. So that's the things to not do. But but the thing about starting a show is that it's going to be very, very rare that you're going to come across a topic that somebody else isn't already doing. So you have to pick something, number one, that you are passionate about personally, that you really, really enjoy, and that you're super excited to talk about for at least 30 minutes to an hour every week, or however your schedule decides to be. But you don't need to reinvent the wheel in terms of your content. What you need to do is you need to find something that is specialized to you. And so, like, an example of a podcast, let's say, talking about World of Warcraft. If you are specifically excited about the game and the rating side, perhaps one of you is an expert on the higher end rating. If you're thinking about the world of Convert to Raid, they usually had somebody who was a mythic raider or heroic raider or whatever it was. Somebody who was really knowledgeable about the game in a different sense, have some variety and some skill in doing that, because you have different ways of appealing to people. For this show, we have the very easy thing of the male-female perspective. We have that. It's gonna work, because when you're giving advice from two different points of view, it works pretty well. But you have to think about what it is that you want to talk about, because every time you start a podcast, you're like, yeah, this thing is so exciting. It's like the most amazing thing. It's like awesome. And then you get to like 5 episodes in, you're like, damn, this is work. This is a lot of work.
And I'm not as excited about what's going on.
Yes. Like oh, we lost you again.
Completely?
Well, there you are.
Okay.
We've been losing you a little bit here and there.
I
know your internet's not good today.
I have no idea what's wrong.
I have no idea either. So, but yeah, like we just like you get to that point where you're just like, I have to do work now, and this is kind of like, oh, what am I going to do next? And so that's another piece of advice that I would give to you, is that you need to pick out something that you're going to talk about that you're really going to be interested in talking about week over week, that it's going to be something that you're excited about, because when the work part kicks in, and it does kick in, you're going to need that to push you through. And if you don't like what you're talking about, it's not going to fly.
Yep.
So
yeah, because it's easy to start a podcast. It is exponentially harder to maintain that podcast and to stay with it and to fight through, that kind of, not really enjoying what you're doing this week. And I mean, because it is work, it's something you have to be passionate about, and it's something you have to have enough interest in.
Oh my goodness, your internet. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll get him back in just a second. The other thing I will say too is that your podcasting needs to be something that you have to decide what time frame you want to commit to it. For some people, it's like, hey, I want to podcast every week, and I want to do this like once a week because that's about what I have time for. Then you need to make sure that you have a consistent schedule. Something that we've had difficulty with this show in the past, which has literally just been having work conflict with the podcast. And so that's another thing you need to think about as well is how much time do you have to commit to it? How much time do you have to give to yourself and to your audience to say, I'm going to be here every week. The show's going to go up this day, because that's also how you build a decent audience as well. How you doing, Mark Onan?
Is this any better?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, good.
Okay. Yeah.
I unplugged my camera completely just in case it was trying to talk to things.
Okay. Let's see if that helps a little bit.
Hopefully that fixed it.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Sorry, folks.
That's okay. They said, good job, healers, in the chat. I guess, I mean, the things that I would definitely advise too is make sure that if you invest in anything for your show, that you invest in some decent audio equipment. My very first one was the microphone that I had, which was the headset mic, was the only thing I had. And I immediately went and bought a Blue Yeti shortly after episode 2. I wound up getting a Blue Yeti, which was a relatively inexpensive microphone at the time. And Mark Honan had one too, right? You had one of those.
Yep. Yeah, I used it for a long time, and it was good because I could travel with it too.
Yeah.
Because I traveled for work a lot, and so I just kept it in my luggage.
Yeah.
I still have it. It's in its box under the desk right now, near my foot.
I still have mine.
It's my emergency mic.
It doesn't really function that well anymore. It's pretty old, but I do have it. The one thing about the Yeti is that it's a condenser microphone, so it picks up everything in the room. And so if you have a noisy room, everything, like the cat meowing in the other room, your spouse making dinner in the kitchen, the kids outside in the street, you hear all of that stuff.
A car starting 2 blocks away.
Yep.
It catches it all.
It's so true. Ugh. So then we eventually I upgraded to what I'm using right now, which is a Shure SM7B, same microphone Mark Honan has.
And it is nice.
It's
got a nice price tag to it too.
Yeah, no, it's an expensive microphone. So here's the biggest advice I can give to you when I talk about buying audio equipment. Do not buy more than you can afford for the hobby that you think you're going to use it for. I knew that I wanted to be a podcaster the moment that I started recording. And so I invested in the nicer microphone because that was what I wanted to do. But
Same here.
It was about a year after I started podcasting that I changed up to it. And we're on year 6.5 right now. So these things will last you a long time, but don't spend the money if you don't think that it's going to be something that you want to last on, is my advice to that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
What else? Have fun. It's not always about the numbers and how many people. It's about the community that starts to form around you. It's about the people that listen to your show and take it with you, and the people that are there every single week to watch you record live if you do that. The people that will send you a letter giving you feedback about every episode, because there will be the people that do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'd say also try not to be too fake on the microphone.
Yeah.
Try not to force it, because this is not a commercial for a tractor pull. This is not this is not the movie trailer guy for an hour. You don't have to really play it up. We do get excited for the show, and our personalities can sometimes feel a little bit bigger than they normally are when we're not on the air, but it's still me. It's still Jules. It's still us.
Yep.
We're just turned up a little bit more than we are usually. And people can honestly pick it out when you're sounding fake and not being genuine. Like if you are just really excited and you carry this on all day, there's no way you can maintain it, and you're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So don't try to be fake. Just be yourself. That's another big thing. You don't have to have a personality as big as the moon, because in the end that won't really matter. It's just who you are and what you are presenting.
Yeah.
So be natural, try to be relaxed when you're on the microphone. If you're not when you first start, that's fine. Everybody gets scared of the mic, but after a while you'll get used to it. And like, even like right now, my camera is not on, but I'm looking at it because it's good practice.
Yep.
You know, keep practicing, keep your presence up, be aware of, you know, ums and buts and just kind of listen to yourself, kind of listen to it afterwards, and just try and get some, you know, do your own little bit of coaching, like, oh, I shouldn't say or yes as much, and try to be aware of it. And I think that it will get better with time.
Yeah.
I know it has for me, because I try not to get so, you know, just confused when I'm talking and get on a big rant or a big tangent and try to bring it back. So
Yeah.
it does take a lot of practice, but yeah, be yourself. Don't try to, you know, not everybody can be a Coltrane or can be, you know, a Jules Scott. You know, not everybody can be that right out of the gate. So just be yourself. We don't need two Jules Scotts out there. The one we've got is perfect. So be you. Be you. Be the you of podcasting.
Exactly. I listen to myself a lot, especially on new projects. When I started listening, I listened to every episode that I did of Tauren Think Tank for probably about 50 episodes, because I wanted to hear what kind of words I was using, what kind of cadence I was saying, what kind of crutch words I was hitting. I still have them. I try to work on them, but it's tough. It also helps because now I'm a lot easier and quick to just kind of jump into improv on things than I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
There were, you know, the long pauses and things that are like the quiet moments are really tough when you're a first time podcaster, because you're trying to think about how you can get the cadence going without having a lot of dead air. Marcona and I are really good at it because we just know how to pitch to each other. But he knows, like, when I'm about to, right, like, it came with practice, but he knows when I'm about to drop off on a thought. I know when he's about to drop off on a thought, and then I can just go and pick it right up. But you're not going to know that immediately going through. It's just going to be something that you have to practice at.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come with practice. Like to get good at anything, you have to stick with it and practice and listen to yourself and analyze kind of what you're doing. Like Jules said, with the crutch words, like, what are you always kind of sticking to play, and what just wait around for the next thought to come. And I would always advise having a co-host, because that does help. You know, a burden shared is not as light. So you don't have to carry a show if you don't want to. Get somebody who's similar minded, who has a similar interest, but different enough that you can have a nice back and forth. And that way, if you get stuck, the other person can pick it right up, because I get lost in thought sometimes and I don't know where to go. And Jules is right there next to me to pick it up and keep us going until I can kind of regroup. So I think that would be a good thing, is once you kind of get to where you want to go, kind of get the idea for the podcast, and try and find somebody else to share it with, because it's fun.
Yeah.
For me, it was harder to do a podcast by yourself, because I mean, it's just you and your thoughts. And I know, Jules, you've been kind of venturing into some solo stuff now too, and it's a little bit different.
Yes, so it is. I script everything on my solo podcast, though. I make sure it's all scripted, and I'm reading my script, but I'm writing it in a voice that sounds like my voice. And so, but you hear the difference. Like, if you listen to Heroes News, you'll hear it like, this is Heroes News with Jules Scott. And today is Thursday, January 10th, 2019. I'm here to bring you the latest Heroes of the Storm news in 10 minutes or less each week. Like, I'm doing a broadcaster voice.
It is that broadcaster voice.
Yes.
With the same emphasis. I love it.
Right. That's my broadcaster voice, and that's okay. And that's all right. And because that's what it's meant for the show. But then I get into the interview and you hear me, because I'm like, I have questions that are prepared for that person, but I'm not really reading them. I'm kind of integrating them into the conversation. And by the way, interviewing people is a whole nother skill that is something that, oh my gosh.
Ooh.
If you ever think about doing a podcast where you're interviewing somebody, remembering this is the golden rule of interview style podcasts. You are not important.
Get out of the way.
Yes.
Just
Get
out
out
of their way.
Yes. And it drives me absolutely bonkers to hear shows where there's a host and a guest, and the host is taking 60% of the time. The guest only gets 40% of airtime. No, you've got that person on because they're supposed to be there to tell you stuff. And that is very, very hard for some people to, as you very well put it, get out of the way. State the question, point them in the direction. Sometimes they need more guidance than you know, whatever, but get out of their way.
Yeah, if you notice interviews, when people are interviewing, and even if you go back and watch like highlights from an interview, if they're interviewing a movie star or something, they'll ask them a question and they're going to just go on and, you know, just kind of go on this long little speech about things. And you don't ever, or you rarely hear the interviewer give those acknowledgments, you know, because they're off camera. They're just kind of like nodding. They're probably just giving nonverbal cues, just nodding and, you know, kind of just showing, you know, confirmation, acknowledgement that they're listening and that, oh yeah, I understand. But they're just getting out of the interviewee's way, because that's the reason why people are listening, is because of the interviewee, not you. I mean, you've got the whole beginning of the episode, you've got the end, but in that interview, let your guest shine, because that's why you pick them. That's why they're there. So make sure to just get out of the way.
Yeah. It's something that is a skill that takes time, and it was something that I'm still working on it. I love it. I love interviewing people, and everybody's different. So sometimes I just literally have to like say a couple words of like, here's a direction, and they go boo, and they're just gone. And then there's others where I'm like, so question, and they answer like 2 words. And, oh, so tell me more about that. Like, give me more, please.
No yes or no questions. Oh,
yes.
Like Grand Nagus said in the chat room, ask open questions. That's the key.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll see me, like, I'll ask people how their journey got started. And, you know, tell me how this whole thing began. There's no yes or no in that. It's tell me how this whole thing started for you. And you're inviting them to tell you a story. So that is one of the key things that I have learned if you're ever thinking about doing an interview style podcast. Very, very important. If you are bringing guests onto your show, here is a major pet peeve that I have. Respect your guests' time, please.
Yes.
Please. I have sat on interviews that took 3 hours of my day. I have sat on podcasts where they started 45 minutes late after telling me to be there at a certain time. 45 minutes of just, you know, shooting the breeze and tech stuff and set up. No, be set up, be ready, bring your guest in and do it. Do not make them wait. Do not be late. Do not show up. Like, this has all happened to me. All of it has happened to me. Don't insult your guest ever. That's happened to me. Yes, it has. There's like all these things that I mean, just stories. There was one that took me 3 hours to be a part of, and I was just like, it's a Saturday afternoon that I agreed to be on this. This is my time that I have agreed to be here. You showed up 15 minutes late. We started 45 minutes late, and then you kept me on for 2 hours. Like, I wanted to scream. I just wanted to scream because they were just like, la, 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 la. And I'm like, no. Your guest is like key. You need to be like, no, just don't. Sorry, soapbox. I'm off my soapbox.
Hey, well, it's an important thing. You that's something that, you know, if we didn't tell you, you might not know, or you might not realize, because it's, like I said, it's your show. Yeah, it's your show. We get it. But you've asked someone to take time out of their day, usually for free, to be there, and you need to respect them and let them shine. That's your chance to let them shine through your show.
Yes.
And it's a great thing. You just got to respect your interviewee.
Exactly. And let them know how much time you expect the show to take. Try to stick to that as much as possible. It's a super important thing to do when you invite people onto your own show, because they will remember I remember. I remember. So those are some tips that I can give. But
yeah. One last one that I can think of is if you're going to use music and sound effects, sound bites, things like that, be aware of Creative Commons license.
yes.
This is something that you may never run into an issue with it, but someday your podcast might get big enough that somebody who owns the property that you are using and possibly generating income from will come after you.
Yes.
And you do not want that to happen. So be
Yes.
aware of the Creative Commons license, what is public domain. The best, the easiest way to do it is find things that are public domain that you can just use, edit, share, even monetize in some cases.
Yeah, so you can buy a license for, like, Triple T's theme music was purchased. It was DRM free music once you purchased it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we had to shell out some money for that. But a lot of the bits that I've put in, I use music from Incompetech.com, which is why you hear the credit at the end of the show, because that's what he has asked. The owner of Incompetech has said, just credit my work. That's all I ask.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we do that. That's why I credit freesound.org, because that's where I get some of my audio, and that's what they want me to do. So always be aware of that. Yep. It can suck trying to find the right sound. Believe me, I know. It is tough to find the right sound effect, the right sound. Like, I want this to work. It would be so great if I had this little sound effect. Well, George Lucas owns that sound effect, so you can't use a lightsaber. You can find something that sounds akin to it, that someone has just maybe made in Fruity Loops or something, or just like made it. Look into Foley artists. A lot of the sound effects, I would find something that would work.
Okay, we got a little glitch there. Now I hear you again.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, just be aware of what audio you are going to use, and make sure that you are allowed to use it. And if they ask you to give credit, give credit. It's easy. Mm-hmm. It's so easy to give credit. You just say, "Hey, this guy did some awesome work. Here it is." That's it. So be aware of that as well.
Yeah, I use in-game music for Heroes of the Storm and Heroes News. That's okay. They allow you to do that. We have sounders from World of Warcraft in Tauren Think Tank. That's okay. They're not going to come after us for that, we hope.
They haven't yet.
They haven't yet. So.
I think we're in the clear.
Yes. But, do not use anything that you hear on the radio and stuff that you would use on a Twitch sounder or an alert. Don't do it. Just don't.
Nope.
It's great advice. Don't do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I hope that if you've got that idea out there, that you're thinking about maybe doing it in 2019 and seeing if you make the dream happen. Lightning doesn't always strike, but you'll learn. You'll learn a lot, and those opportunities that you'll make, the people that you meet, could turn into something more. So if you don't see that thing taken off the way you want it to, think about some other ways that you could enhance it, change it up, talk to other people. Maybe you're not doing the content that you really want to be doing. It's a path though to get you started. And 6.5 years later, we're sitting here at episode 299 of this show, the very first show that I ever created. So it can happen. It can be that way. You just have to push through.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have to stick with it. That's the thing, is a ton of people start them. Not nearly as many, can have the dedication to continue on after the newness has faded away. Yeah. And it does take some dedication. It really, really does.
Absolutely.
But if it's something you really want to do, I mean, you'll find a way. I mean, if anybody is an example of pursuing the dream and not letting anything shake them to quitting, it's my co-host. So she can do it. I mean, she's a shining example of that. So let that be your guide there.
Well, and to be completely frank, I've started and ended a number of shows since beginning of this one, participated in some, and there were reasons why they ended, whether or not varieties of different reasons. The work that went into it was not exactly worth the time and effort that it was taking, or the time that it was taking was too much, or the chemistry between the hosts wasn't good anymore, or some, there's so many things like so I have shows on my resume that have started and ended, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All of us have.
Yeah.
And so, and now the next chapters are beginning. There's more shows coming. There's more things I'm already working on. And it's just like you progress forward based on where you are in your life. So, yeah. But if you're thinking about doing it, I hope that our tips have helped you, and, our story of how this all began helped you too. So.
And shine on. Just come on. Just get in there. Try it out. See if you like it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if anybody else out there is thinking of starting a podcast, go do it.
Yeah.
Be keep that inspiration going. Find your niche and dive in and do it.
Yes.
That's the best way to get started is to just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might sound like crap. You may not have good mix. Whatever. Do it.
The tools to start a podcast today are so much better than they were 6 years ago.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can tell you, I'll just give them a plug right now. I use Simplecast now for everything, for all my new shows. I can't tell you enough how great it is because it basically does everything for you. You just have to get the file edited up for what you need to do, and it'll help you get it onto all the other platforms. It helps you set up your RSS feed for you. It's so easy, and it's pretty inexpensive. So that's the one I use now, is Simplecast. This show uses Libsyn, and Libsyn's great, and we've used them for years, and I would have no issue for them at all. But Simplecast is cheaper, so I won't say that. So,
if you're wanting oh, sorry, I was just going to say, if you want free audio editing, Audacity is the one that a lot of new podcasters use. Even old podcasters use it because it's fairly simple once you learn how to use it. So if you haven't done any audio editing, now would be a good time to take a look at that. So check out Audacity.
Yeah, and if you have a Mac, GarageBand is on there, and it's free, so you can use that too. It's how I learned. That's what I still use to this day, is I use GarageBand to do all my editing. So yeah, I mean, we're happy to give other advice for you too. I did write a blog series on Heroes Hearth, about a four series blog about getting started with concepts and that kind of thing. And you can go to heroeshearth.com and look that up too. I started that in October. So yeah, there's lots of resources out there. We're happy to answer questions for you if you have any thoughts on that. Questions@taurenthinktank.com is the email where you can send your questions to. And it'll still be there even after the show ends, because I'm not going to get rid of it. So it'll just be there. It'll just be there. All right. Let's see. I think that's it. I think that'll do it.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Good luck to you.
Yes. Good luck to you all who are thinking about doing this. And yeah, just go fly. Go get her done. All right, Mark Honan. That'll be it for our show, I think. We actually went long on this one.
I think so too. It's I don't want to finish the show because that means we only have one left.
I know, right?
And I don't like that thought. I
don't like that one either. But alas, we must call this as it is, a show.
I would have to agree. For the next to the last time, this is what would qualify. Whether you are starting a podcast tomorrow or you've been doing it for 6 years, you would call it a show.
Yes. What is going on for you within the next week before we hit our final episode?
Oh, man. Well, just kind of talked about it at the beginning of the show. We're going to a nice dinner over the weekend and doing some photo shoots with the missus. Yeah, just playing a lot of Let's Go Pikachu, and I think the Totodile community event is this weekend as well. I think, or is that next weekend?
There's Feebas going on this weekend.
Feebas is this week. Well, hold on. It's one of them.
Saturday.
But I'm going to be playing some. Yeah, I'm going to be playing some Pokemon Go this weekend when not at work. So that'll be kind of fun. I'll dock it a lot. Be trying to figure out and flesh out what I'll do after Triple T for a little while. Don't have any show ideas. Don't have any phone calls. No one's asked me to join their show yet, so that's all right. Totally fine. I don't need another podcast. I don't. That's okay. I'm fine. Don't look at me. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I would really like. I am jonesing to get these Lego sets built, so I cannot wait. Our buddy Ben from Azeroth Roundtable has built the Saturn V rocket, and he said it's a very fun build.
Good.
I am very excited for it. I may have some Saturn V and Apollo trivia or fun facts while I'm building it. Play some nice, relaxing music. We shall see. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that's about it. Just trying to get through another week because I don't want to do the last show.
I know.
I know.
Oh.
But yeah, that's what's going on with me. How about you, Jules? How's your next week look?
So, just a quick update on the podcast tester that I did with my friend Ramadi from the psychologist from Heroes Hearth. We did the first pilot episode and it went well.
Good.
And we just have to fix up some audio stuff on his end, and we have to finalize the title. I don't know when that's going to start. I think it's probably going to start once I know what my true schedule is going to be like. I know what my job is, what my day-to-day is going to be. I'd like to get past this final episode too. So so it will be coming. The best place is to follow on Twitter and Discord, and keep track on Discord too, because I'll post stuff there. Yeah, so that went. So we're still working on that. Just kind of tucked it to the side, just as everything else is in major transition too. And yeah, just trying to get through another week. Hopefully I'll be able to stream this weekend. My shoulder's been really bothering me from some extra exercising that I was doing. And of course, everything I stream requires the use of my shoulder in a pretty significant way, like chainmail and diamond painting. And even if I were to play a game, it was the same thing. So I kind of had to pull back a little bit on streaming, but hopefully this weekend I will be able to stream at least once. And yeah, so that's gonna be the plan, man. That's the plan.
Sweet.
Sweet. Indeed.
I like it.
So with that, we have now closed out 299 episodes of this show. We will be back next week for the final episode of Triple T. You guys are going to be probably seeing a ton of talk about it because we will just keep hyping it up, and hopefully we'll get a nice big old chat room to be here to say goodbye to this lovely project of ours. So with that, I'm going to play this wonderful music that we always do, just like this. Tauren Think Tank is supported by you, our fans. We thank everyone who has donated to our Patreon for the last 4.5 years. It did close down yesterday, so the Patreon site is no more. Thank you to all who have helped out Triple T over the years. We can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. You guys have no idea how much and how much that has meant to us. Also, like I said earlier, portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and at freesound.org. And you can also find us outside of the show and after the show at thinktank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us too.
If you'd like to meet other members of the Triple T community, you can join our Discord server. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/tttchat2.
You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Tauren Think Tank. You can find us on Twitter for the show at Tauren Think Tank. You can also find Jules at Jules RPG. You can find me, Marconin, at Marconin Wow. And if you do want those soon-to-be retro style t-shirts or mugs or laptop cases or whatever we've got over there on our store, get some cool merch. I'm actually about to get a couple of shirts just for posterity.
Yep.
I really need a couple more. And if you would like one as well, you can go to TaurenThinkTank.com/store and check it out.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight, hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. You can find us at the video stream at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank. And you'll want to be there for that last show to just say goodbye together. So make sure that Thursday night, 8 o'clock Central, you have locked down your schedule so you can be there for the final show. We love seeing you here with us. And thank you for all the downloads of the podcast as well.
Yes,
Marconin.
Thank you so much. Jules?
Let's get that internet fixed for next week, okay?
Yes, ma'am. As soon as I get home from work, I am resetting this router. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do everything in my power so that you can...
Oh. Yeah, and it just keeps going out. Oh, no. Dang it. All right. For myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room. Until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo. Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
Oh my goodness. It got like, it was like on and off, and you have these blocks where it was fine and then other parts where it was just not fine.
I just have no clue what's going on.
Well, you said you had 6 upload. That's probably one of the big issues.
Yeah. So I am going to reset my router as soon as I get home.
Okay.
So I can hopefully get a nice strong connection.
Good. A couple titles tonight. One last tech issue.
Hopefully.
I think that's going to be... Because in the history of this show, we have definitely had our share of tech issues.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good one.
I'm glad the moo came in clearly. I am so glad. That's why I didn't drag it on tonight.
Yes. Figures the moo came in clearly.
Yep. Yes. I'm glad for that.
Oh, man. All right. Chat room, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, my goodness. All right. Put this back here. All right. We've got show titles. We've got everything else. All right. Well, then we're going to let you guys go and let Marconin go settle down his internet, like, talk to it nicely and say sweet nothings to it. So
go get it some flowers and chocolates.
Yes. Tell you it was sorry. Tell it you were sorry.
Yeah. I'm so sorry I neglected you.
I've been busy. I got busy.
Very busy. I'm sorry. Thanks
Robin Speed.
Thanks for the ideas.
All right, you guys. Well, be here with bells on next week. Bring the tissues because we're gonna need them. We're all gonna need them.
Yep, and remember the deadline from Draven is Monday.
Yes. Whatever that is, we do not know what it is. You're gonna have to ask him. So.
Yep. Oh, we've been good.
Don't ask me. I've got cat hair on my microphone again. So much cat hair on my microphone. Y'all better have the bells. They better be cowbells. You're right.
Yeah. Have a good one, Greg Negus.
You guys have a wonderful week. We will see you next week. /moo.
/moo, guys. Take care. We'll see you next time for the last time.